I really feel like I must walk around with MUG written on my forehead. Like, literally, I must have the word mug written on my forehead because I get mugged off a lot. I mean, when I mean mugged off, I mean scammed. Like, scammers find me. Welcome back to Jay's World. We are all about positivity, light, humor, and entertainment on this channel. Now, if you're new to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell to stay notified, okay? Today, I have a story time prepared for you. Don't judge me too harshly, guys, okay? I have learned my lesson, and I think like I must walk around with MUG on my forehead. Like, literally, I must have the word mug written on my forehead because scammers always find me. I don't know how. I got scammed out of £400. I thought I was buying some gadgets. It wasn't that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my story with you guys. And hopefully, if you guys ever find yourself in the same situation that I did, you do not make the same mistakes that I do. So let's get straight to it. So, I'm a North London girl. I lived in North London, Tottenham to be exact, for many, many years. Well, I say Tottenham, let me say Haringey. I lived on Lordship Lane. Wood Green was my local town centre. So on this particular day, I got dressed and I thought, you know what, it's the weekend, let me go and do some shopping or just browse. I don't think I was actually going to buy anything. Sometimes you just want to be in the shops browsing, like, that's cute, I can't afford this. Oh, I might get that next week. Oh, I might get that one today. Sometimes you just want to go and see what's out there. So that was me on this particular Saturday morning. I get into town centre. I literally I have a feeling I'd just been paid. I have a feeling I'd literally just been paid the day before. As soon as I get to town, some man approaches me. He probably looks like Romanian, sort of, can I use the word gypsy looking? So he approaches me and he's, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm trying to get sell my phone. Do you want to buy a phone? What I should have said was, no, I don't want to buy a phone. But what I actually said was, oh, I've been thinking about getting a new phone. What you got? To be fair, and in my defense at the time, I had the iPhone 6. I remember very clearly. And this phone was slowing down, and we've come to realize that Apple do this. But at the time, the phone was getting slow and things was taking long to load, and I was just like, I was fed up with it. But I was always also the sort of person that loses everything. So I'd kind of hung on to that phone for quite a while, and I was reluctant to upgrade until I got into this habit of not losing my shit. Like, I would literally go out and come home with nothing. I'd lose my lighter, I'd lose my phone I always lost, keys, whatever. So that's why I hadn't really upgraded my phone for a while. Now my man's showing me an iPhone 8 or iPhone 9 or whatever it was, and I'm thinking, yeah, I really need a new phone. So anyway, so he says, yeah, so I check all the iCloud lock and all that, make sure it's all kosher, it all looks good. So he says, okay, let's go to the cash point. So I said to him, let's go to the cash point. I don't have any cash on me. And he follows me. I don't think I invited him to follow me, but he followed me to the cash point and I got some cash out. And because obviously I was going to be spending the day in town, and I thought, well, I've not even been here 5 minutes. It's looking like I'm going to buy a phone. Let me withdraw a little bit more money for the day. So I did that. Anyway, he says to me, oh, as soon as I withdraw the cash and we're talking about the phone, and he's about to give it to me, he says to me, oh, by the way, guys, we've been talking for a little while. It's not like I've just met this man on the road and 2 minutes later I'm buying a phone of him. He has taken the time to gain my trust. He's asked me questions, we've discussed, and he's come across, I don't remember all the details, the ins and outs, but he's come across as quite a trustworthy person. So, well, in my opinion. So anyway, so he says to me, oh, I got this iPad, if you want it as well, it'll go great with the phone. And then in my head, I'm thinking, ooh, I need a new iPad. No, I don't. I have an iPad at home. I had an iPad. I still have it to this day. I did not need a new iPad. But then I'm looking at the phone. By the way, the phone is white, and I've always had the black iPhone, so I was really intrigued to have that white one. So he says, oh, let's go to the car, and you can check out the iPad. So I said, yeah, okay, cool. So we go to the car. The first thing that this at the time I noticed, and I thought, oh, that's strange, is he goes straight to the petrol tank and he opens the tank. I think the lock for the tank, the petrol tank door was a bit bust up, so he was able to just open the petrol tank, and then he got a pair of keys out of the petrol tank. And I should have known that's strange. Like, who the hell keeps their keys in the petrol tank? But okay, whatever. Then he gets in the car. I never at any point entered his car, so I'm standing outside. And to be fair, he's in the passenger side at this point. So there's no one else in the car. It's just he's in the passenger seat. I'm standing outside, and he brings out the iPhone, and he shows me the iPad. Sorry, so we're talking about the iPad now. I've already seen the phone. He's still got it. I haven't given him any cash, and he hasn't given me the phone. But we go to the car, and he brings out the iPad, and he shows me the iPad, and it's cute. It's white too, and I'm thinking, okay, I've got a black iPad at home. I need a white one. No, I don't. But anyway, we negotiate, haggle, and these were pretty like you know, top of the range specs at the time. So I think the iPhone was probably like an iPhone 8 or something like that, or you know, or 8, I don't know. And the iPad, I find it very hard to remember, but we haggled it down to £400, and I felt like I was getting a bargain. Guys, something about me is I love a bargain. I mean, I don't like ripping people off. I'll never rip someone off, but I like feeling like I got a bargain. I like walking away from the negotiation and not feeling like someone's taking advantage of me. So we haggled it down, and it went all the way down to £400 for both the phone and the iPad, which, funny enough, was just the amount we drawn from the cash point and what I had in my hand. While we're there haggling, some other man comes around and sits in the driver's seat. And everything just moves so quick, guys. From this point on, where I've decided to buy the iPad, and I've literally asked him about the charging cables and stuff. Some man's come around, got in the driver's seat, and everything happened so quickly. And the next thing I know, he's shouting at me saying, they gotta go, they gotta go. He showed me the iPad, he showed me the iPhone, he puts it in a bag. I'm standing outside the window. I see him put the iPad and the iPhone in a bag, and he literally brings the bag up and gives it to me. And just as he gives it to me, at the same time he snatches the wad of money which I'd already prepared to give him out of my hand. And you know, he's like, bye, you know, and suddenly the guy in the driver's seat is driving off and the car is gone. It happened so quickly. Didn't really think much of it. I've got what I wanted anyway. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm in town. This was all done on the streets, by the way. Like, it wasn't even like in a cafe or anywhere. This was literally on the road, like outside the car. So I'm like, okay, I'm in town. Let me go to the shops and to the phone shop and see if they can unlock this phone, because I think he told me that the network was not the one I was using, which is EE. So I said, okay, let me take it to the phone shop and get them to unlock the phone, or at least start the process, blah, blah, blah. So I get to the phone shop. This is Wood Green Town Centre. There's so many of them about. I get to the phone shop and I go to the counter. The guy's free. I said to him, can you unlock iPhones here? He's like, yeah. So I said, okay. He says, let me, and then we're talking and he's like, oh, let me see the phone, because he wants to know how long it will take to unlock or whatever. I don't know. So I open the bag to get the phone out. And I look at the man and I said, sorry, hold on. I needed to sit down. And I remember at this point, my heart's just going boom. And I walk to a chair, like somewhere you could sit, the seating area, and I sit down. And I very carefully open the bag and look in again. Can you believe what I found in that bag? 2 bottles of fucking Evian water. Yes, I just paid £400 for 2 bottles of Evian water. I was so pissed off, I cannot even tell you. I was so upset, and I was just more mad at myself. I was so mad at myself because I know better than to buy a phone from someone on the street that I don't even know. I don't even know their name. I don't even know what their car license plate. Like, I know better. So the man's waiting at the counter for me to bring the phone back. I've got this bag and I'm looking at it, and this rucksack, and it's full of 2 bottles of Evian water. Do you know what I did? I just took the bag and I walked out the shop because I thought, nah, bro, I'm not even gonna. I just left the shop anyway, and to be honest, I went straight home because I don't remember going shopping that day. I felt so deflected. I felt like such a mug. I went straight home. Now, there's a lesson to be learned here, guys, and it's as easy as this. If it looks like a scam, acts like a scam, smells like a scam, done on the street, outside a car with the key in the petrol tank, it is a motherfucking scam. So before y'all come at me in the comments, I know better now. And like my girl Oprah Winfrey, who I love so much, always says, when you know better, you do better. So that's my story time, guys. I was scammed out of £400. My £400 that I thought that I was buying an iPhone and an iPad bought me 2 bottles of Evian water. Well, do you know what I did with those bottles of water? I carried that rucksack, you know. I went home, the bag was smelly, I had to throw it away, but there was 2 brand new bottles of water, and those bottle of water had cost me £200 each. So I took them out the bag and I put them on my table, and I really could not bring myself to drink it. I must have had those 2 bottles of water still sealed for like a year or two. Like, how do you drink £200 bottle of water? Well, I did eventually one day. So yeah, guys, there is a moral of the story here, guys. Don't buy things from people you don't know. Don't buy things on the street if you can. Try and avoid all that. And if you really must, sometimes you can get a bargain, but if you really must, know who you're buying it from. But the thing about me is, if I trust you, I will completely trust you. And it's stupid to trust someone I've met for 5 minutes, but I like energies, and I should have known that his energy was not right, but everything about his energy was telling me that I could talk to him, I could trust him. And these are professional scammers. That's their job, to gain your trust and then abuse it. And that's exactly what he did. I'd be interested to know, you guys, have you guys ever had similar things happen to you? Did you know your scam stories? If you've been through the same thing, let me know, because trust me, I got so many scam stories for you guys. Like I said, I literally must walk around with MUG mug on my forehead, because boy, I get scammed quite a bit. But I like to think I've learned from it now, and I think these days, especially after the last scam that happened to me, I don't think it'll be so easy to scam me. I like to think I've learned. I got my fingers crossed. I get this personality from my mom. She's very gullible too. So that's my story. Thank you guys for tuning in to Jay's World. Before you go anywhere, please, please, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to stay notified. And thank you so much for locking in. I'll see you guys again real soon. Love.